Alright guys, I've got some big news today. Dragon Ball Fighter Season 3 is coming. I'm sure this is something that we all know already, but this season is going to be different than the previous two. So to start things off, we already know that Ultra Instinct Goku is coming to the game. We knew this for weeks. I didn't see a reason to report on it since I was pretty late, and there hasn't been really any details on how his playstyle is going to be. So yeah, Ultra Instinct Goku is going to be in the game, but this season isn't just going to be a new set of characters. They're actually going to change the game, and there's huge changes. Like, it's really going to affect how the game is played, period. It's basically a super version of the game, as Street Fighter would put it when they release a super edition. That's basically what they're doing here. They're really changing the game up. So start with one of the changes. It's Z Assist Select. One of the things that people always complained about when it came to Dragon Ball FighterZ was the ability to select which assist attack your team can use. Because the characters are pretty much stuck with the same assist attack. Vegeta had the rapid fire whenever you press the assist button, but now you could change what the characters do. So that's going to be big. That opens up a lot of it opens out a lot, actually, not just combo possibility, but you're going to be seeing players using other characters that they wouldn't normally use. I felt like during these tournaments, certain characters are only chosen not because of the way they play, just because of their assist. So if you were to take away the other teammates and leave the character that the player would choose for their assist, they'll most likely die. So characters won't just be chosen for their assist, because basically you'll be able to use any attack. So it'll open up not only more playable characters for pro players or players in general, but the combo potential is going to go up very high. There's going to be some crazy stuff. I'm even a bit excited because there's certain attacks I wish other characters were able to use as an assist attack that they weren't able to use, so I couldn't basically do the combo that I dreamed of doing. But that's all going to change now because of the assist select. So that's going to be a huge game changer. Another thing is a bit more technical, and it's a bit more complicated. I didn't even know it existed until now. So there's something called Fuzzy Guard. They're getting rid of that in the game. Fuzzy Guard is something, has something to do with being mixed up. They have it in Street Fighter, and I believe they have it in King of Fighters. So Fuzzy Guard, there's different types of guards. There's standing block, then there's crouching block. Basically, when you're doing a standing block, you want to avoid standing attacks and jumping attacks, but you're vulnerable to crouching attacks. But when you're doing a crouching guard, you can block standing attacks and crouching attacks, but you're vulnerable to jump attacks, which are known as overheads. Basically, when you're being mixed up, your opponent might start with a jumping attack and then go for a crouching. That's known as a mix-up. So when you want to block, you want to crouch. There's a brief window in between that where your blocking is off. So they could pretty much hit you with an air attack even though you're already crouching. Your hitbox is gone. There's like a brief window, one frame. That's a fuzzy guard. There's an opening. They're getting rid of that in the game. And it's more prominent with large characters like Broly. Characters like that, their hitboxes are bigger, so they're easier to hit in between that small window. So they're going to get rid of that, thank God. Also, comeback mechanics. We already had that in the game in the form of sparking, but apparently they're gonna do some adjustments to the comeback mechanic. I don't know if they're gonna either nerf the I don't know what they're doing with it. It's either they're I think they're gonna buff the sparking, possibly. I'm not too sure about that, but they're just gonna adjust what we already have. So we'll see what happens with that. If you guys remember when Season 2 came out, it didn't really get patched, and that led to a lot of issues, specifically GT Goku being one of the most used characters in the game because of how good he was. He was too good, and that pretty much resulted in many people picking him up just because of how good he was. So that was an issue. They didn't patch anything, and the game pretty much stayed the same for a while, and that pretty much also turned people away from the tournaments, because during tournaments people got bored of seeing the same characters be played over and over again, and that pretty much lowered Dragon Ball FighterZ popularity. But Season 3, this isn't confirmed, 100% confirmed, because not even Arc System Works or Bandai Namco, they're not even sure about this themselves. But Season 3 might be actively patched. Now I say actively very loosely, because they're not going to patch it, like, they're not going to constantly patch it. There might be like a certain date, where they just give the game one huge patch. So they're not going to patch every little thing. There might be some small things that are patched, possible glitches, I guess, but I guess if it has something to do with the play style, like the characters or whatever, that's not going to be patched for a long while, until a certain date, where they just patch a bunch of characters simultaneously in one huge game patch. So that's a bit iffy. That was a huge issue with Season 2. So it's nice to know that they plan on doing something about it during Season 3, but they're not even sure what they're going to do, so don't get your hopes up too high. There will be change, most definitely, but how much change? That's the question. So we'll see, I guess. Oh, and another thing, the UI has changed for the game. The character select screen has changed. It gives the game a more fresh look, and to be honest, they kind of had to do this, because if they're going to add more characters, there's really no space on the old character select screen for any new characters, so they pretty much had to make space with the new UI. And it honestly looks pretty badass. It looks really cool. Not only is there more space, it just looks more. It feels like almost feels like a different game in a way. It feels fresh, you know. I'm really excited for it. Oh, and another thing, I'm not sure if anyone noticed, but the health bar has changed for the game. They did a little designing here and there. Just changed the design a little bit, like add a little ink behind the bar itself. Just a little design change. But one physical change I've noticed was with the sparking. When you go sparking on the old game, on the old versions, Season 1 and 2, the character portrait has red electricity on it, basically to show that you're sparking. It's the same with this one, but after Goku dies and Gohan is left alone, there's this extra bar that seems to extend from his character portrait. I'm not sure what it is. It's probably signifying a boost, since he's the last character left, and Sparking is active, so he just gets a super boost, basically making all his stats stronger. I'm not completely sure, so but it does look pretty cool, pretty neat. Also, when whichever player is winning, there's like a small bar where the time would be, and we see red team versus blue team. Before Gohan just bodied Cell with his Kamehameha, we see that the blue team is pretty much winning. They're in the league. They both have the same amount of fighters, but the red team has less health. So the majority of the bar is blue instead of red. So I guess there's going to be a bar to signifying which player is winning or not, which won't really matter, because the comeback mechanic could pretty much change that real fast. But I guess it's nice to have. I guess it's certain things that keep other people aware. I guess people who are watching or whatever. But they're pretty cool. I think the bar at the bottom, the special super bar, might have changed a little bit. There's small minor changes though. Possibly design choice, but it's little things I noticed. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much the end of the video. This is a big thing. This is a huge update. They're pretty much changing the whole game at this point, and I'm looking forward to it. And I'm actually excited to play it. Oh, I forgot one more thing. They're adding new modes. There's new modes to the game. Since, let's be honest, all the other modes we have right now are pretty stale. Everyone already pretty much hit the story mode. Arcade mode's pretty lackluster in my opinion. What other modes do we have? We have tournament mode, online mode. We have survival. I'm not sure if we have survival or time attack, but we could use a lot more modes. I don't know how many more modes they're adding, but they did say they were adding more modes to the game, so that should give us more things to do other than just playing online all the time. Who knows? We might even get more online modes. That'll be pretty cool. But yeah, they're really amping this game up. They're trying to we're pretty much transforming the whole game. Dragon Ball FighterZ is evolving. That's what Season 3 is. It's an evolution of what it was before. But if you guys enjoyed this video, please like, comment, subscribe for more content like this. And I'll see you guys in the next Dragon Ball FighterZ video. Peace.